All right, let's go ahead and get to our mats. Now, for today's class, you might need a few things. Thing one, you might want some kind of mat. I've got a mat here. I'm on a fairly hard surface, so I've also got a number of flat pillows. You might want some flat pillows, and this is you need them or you don't need them. That's kind of your thing. For one or two poses, you might want something where you can put your hands just for support. Optional, may not be necessary at all. And then, importantly, two of the poses we're going to use a wall. And this is just a brick wall. We're not going to need it for very long, but that's the thing. So pillows, pads, wall are the big three things, possibly a chair and possibly some other pillows. All right, so as you arrange those things, we're going to go through a quick warm up. We're going to get ourselves sort of in the moment here, and then we're going to do some stretching. And then at the end, we are going to wrap up with some similar activities. One other thing, you might need a little bit of space, and I'll just be walking on my mat, but we'll be walking in a circle for a little bit as well. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and get going. So to begin with, let's just sort of stand comfortably, feet about hip width apart, knees slightly bent, and then just sort of bounce. Just sort of bounce. Keep your body relaxed, but bounce in place. If you want to move your arms a little bit in sync, that's cool. So this is just basic. It's called shaking, or you can call it bouncing. It doesn't really matter what we call it. It does a whole bunch of stuff. Thing one, as you move your body like this, you're actually stimulating the lymphatic system, and you're getting waste fluids out of your body into your lymphatic system where they can be processed. That's one thing. Second thing, you're putting minor tension on all your joints. Really good for your joints. You're also moving your muscles. And so overall, you're reducing inflammation, you're helping your long-term A1C, et cetera, et cetera. What I find is that if I'm sort of agitated and I'm breathing into my chest, I do this for about a minute and I get my breathing into my belly. I'm starting to work off of my sympathetic system and into my belly or parasympathetic nervous system. We stay engaged all day. We're on computers, we're using our brain all day long. A little bit of shaking once an hour is going to help you sort of reset your system. Okay, so now let's quickly talk a little bit about body position. Actually, I'm going to force that to later on. But right now, what I want you to worry about is, again, feet parallel, if you can, knees bent, and I'll do this from the side, feet parallel, knees bent. Take your sacrum, push it down a little bit and tuck it under, and that's going to help sort of level your pelvis. I want you to bring your pelvis up in the front and down in the back. All right. Hey, Andy. Now, from here, push your head up to extend your spine, and that's good enough. And then sort of relax. We'll do more of that later on, but feet parallel, knees bent, sacrum tucked to the front. What we're going to do is we're going to coordinate our arm movements, our body movements, and our breath. So I'll take you through this a few times. So as we inhale, reach up and imagine you're collecting energy from the air and forming a bright ball. As you exhale, bring that bright ball down. It'll go into your body. Exhale down. And then inhale, reach your hands out. Reach into the vastness of the earth and grab a ball of energy, and exhale, pull it up. Inhale, reach your arms up. Take energy from the air, form a bright ball of light, and then as you exhale, bring that ball down your spinal column and imagine your spine getting bright. Exhale down. Inhale, reach down, grab some water. Exhale, up. The coordination of your breath and your body, that is Qigong. Energy work, Qigong, energy work. Inhale, and then exhale. The visualizations actually help your brain decide to put blood to different parts of the body, believe it or not. Inhale, and then exhale. And also, 5 breaths a minute or less will tend to balance your body between agitation and relaxation. If you extend the exhale, which we'll talk about later, it's how we're going to relax. So breath is important. Breathing to relaxing is important. Now, feet a little bit wider than your hip, doesn't really matter. And then turn your hips side to side, but let your arms flail about. I want you to have just noodly arms, just weak, nothing arms. This is going to be another important thing. Throughout the stretching part of the class, whatever you're stretching, I want you to have it relaxed. Relaxed muscles stretch, non-relaxed muscles don't. And in fact, you have muscle fibers called sarcomeres. They sort of form together like fabric. Relaxing is extending them. Compressing is stretching them. So strength is literally actually the opposite anatomically of flexibility. You need them both. Right now, we're working on just loosening things up. Okay, now finally, I'm going to just pick a central point. I'm going to use this as my central point, and I'm going to walk around it with my spine twisted. Now, this is called circle walking. We do it in a practice called Bagua. None of that matters. What matters is if this is my circle, I'm going to walk around it, but I'm going to start with my feet parallel, my left shoulder's on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist towards the center. Now, you may only twist towards the center. I'm a little more stretchy, so I can twist more around. But the idea is twist your waist and your hips and waist, and then maybe your arms are down. I like to have my arms sort of like this, and then I'm looking over the backside of my left hand and then walk around in a circle. So twist your spine and walk around. Twisting of your spine is really good. The stepping adds a subtle shake. And so slowly over time, this is going to limber up your spine. And if you really try to emphasize the twist, over time, you're going to get a nice spinal twist today. And you do this a few minutes a day, each day, you'll find that your spine is going to loosen up a whole bunch. Okay, now go ahead and stop. We're going to go the other direction. This is asymmetrical. You need to do it on both sides. You want to do it about the same amount of time. The amount of time is important. If you do it 5 steps, not enough. You can do more. Traditionally, 36 steps, but do it for a bit on both sides. The time is important. You need to put enough time in. And that's true of all these stretches. 2 to 5 minutes is the time we're going to be spending on them. If you don't spend the time, you don't get the change. That's the thing about change. Change is easy. You just have to do something different. It's the just doing something different that's hard. Okay, so go ahead and come back here. Let's shake just a little bit. Inhale, and then exhale. Okay, hopefully your body is tingling. Your body is sort of warmed up. We've moved up and down and twisted a bunch. So now we're going to actually start with the stretching. For the first stretch, you might want something like a chair to put your hands on. So I'm going to do this from the side. Feet parallel, knees bent. Bend your knees a whole bunch, way, way, way down. And then put your chest onto your knees or your thighs if you can. This is fine. This might be exactly where you're at, and this is a good stretch. Right now, we're working on our hamstrings and getting a little bit on our back. In general, what you want to do over time is slowly extend your legs up and then move your hands down. If you need to put your hands down, that's fine. We're trying to get a nice stretch on the back of the legs here. Knees bent, that's fine. When you have your knees bent, it's going to move the stretch more into the muscle belly, so that's fine. So as you breathe, inhale to a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 8. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue that. Inhale, exhale. You inhale, expand your belly. And as you exhale, exhale slow and long. This 4-8 pattern give you 5 breaths a minute. And by extending your breath, your exhale, you're going to calm yourself down. We're putting ourselves into discomfort and we're hanging out for a while. Passive time over tension. Passive tension over time is probably even better. 2 minutes is enough time to calm yourself down and get lasting tissue change. But after 5 minutes, you're probably fighting law of diminishing returns, maybe better variety. As we're doing all of these poses, if you have sharp, stabby pain, come back slowly. Don't jump out of it, but come back. If you could point to a pain, if I can say the pain is right there, that's probably bad. If it's generally in an area and it's more pressure, probably okay, but monitor it.
but I can't feel your pain, your body for you. So you're going to have to determine when you need to back off. Remember, relax everything that's stretching if you can. We call that wet noodle. As I expand my belly, it pushes my thighs, which actually accentuates the stretch. You can do that throughout most of these poses, using your belly as you inhale to sort of push yourself in and out. Okay, to come out, put your hands on the ground. And in general, don't use the muscles that you've just stretched. So I'm going to take one hand and put it above my right hand above my right knee. Hold on, left hand above the left knee, push with my arms until I'm back to a neutral position. Once you get back to, like, say, in this case, a standing position, you should be okay, and I'm fine. Okay, we're going to work our way down to the ground. You probably are going to want some pads for your shins and your knees. So I'm going to go ahead and get two knee pads. And then from the side, on the ground, on your knees and shin, turn your toes under. Turn your toes under. And if you need a pillow, that's fine, but sit back onto your heels with your toes turned under. Now, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do this one for this long. There's an optional thing you can do this for. So for the purpose of Tai Chi, this is what I want you to do. I want your ankle all the way back. That's called dorsiflexion, and your toes also. This it will help you grip with your feet. This will help your balance. For long-term health, this kind of thing will help you fall less often, which means it's going to be good for you. The other part you can do is if you want, you can take your hands and put them behind your back and maybe prayer pose. If you do this, you're going to get a nice shoulder stretch. Um, I like this part of the stretch, but for the purpose of balance and Tai Chi, the essential part is the feet, the ankles, the toes. If you're in this pose for very long, oftentimes I find about 3.5, 4 minutes, my shins start to get stretched. And believe it or not, you can overstretch your shins. And so be careful about that. If you're going to do this for very long, sometimes I'll do it against the wall so that my knees can't slide, or I'll just put a pillow in front of my knees just a little bit so my knees don't go at the end of the pose, slide forward. Remember to go back to your breath. Inhale to a count of 4. Exhale to a count of 8. Expand your belly. When you expand your belly, you stimulate the vagus nerve that innervates your belly. When you do that, you calm your body down. Right now, this is probably uncomfortable. So you're simultaneously putting yourself into discomfort and then sending a message to your body, I'm calm, it's okay. You're using your breath to control your autonomic system. That is your automatic system. If you're riled up, slow down your breathing. If you're too tired, balance your breathing to 5 breaths a minute. If you need more energy, breathe faster for a bit. If you need less energy, breathe slower. You can control your physiological state through your breath quite substantially, including your blood alkalinity. So breath work is life work. So we're stretching our toes. We're also stretching the arch between the balls of the feet. This is really, really good. However, if you wear shoes with an elevated heel, it'll take a while before this pose will feel good to you. It'll probably hurt quite a bit. All right, now to come out of this pose, slowly bring your weight off of your feet, but don't quite uncurl your toes. My toes are so curled under that I have to really come out as slow. Get the weight off your feet, let your feet naturally sort of respond back to neutral, and then point them, and then sit back onto them. And here we go for part two. We're going to continue something like this. This is good enough. This is going to give you a little bit of a shin stretch, but it's also going to stretch your front a little bit. If if your bum is squarely on your heels, only if, not a pillow, if it's on your heels, take your feet and slide them apart. I'm going to show this from this direction. So feet together, sorry, knees together, feet apart, butt comes down. And this is good enough. This is getting a nice stretch on the front for me, though I have to say that this floor does not agree with the top of my feet. That's much better. Now, if this is the pose, this is all you need to do. If your bum is solidly on the ground, you can extend this by leaning back. Don't worry about it. If you don't do this pose on a regular basis, this is good enough, and it's going to be good enough for a year. You do get more by stretching back, but it greatly hyperflexes your knees. It hyperextends your ankles, and so you need to work up to it over a period of months and years. This is weird with my back to y'all. So adjust. Now I'm making adjustments. Don't come in and out of poses like I am. Generally speaking, we're working on building up our stretches by calming our body down. Coming in and out of poses is the opposite of that. I'm doing it so I can show you different angles, but you try to stay in the pose. So don't go in and out of poses if you can avoid it. If you have to do it, it's better to do it than to not do it, but work your way up to holding for 2 minutes, then 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and 10 seconds, and so on. And make liberal use of props. Liberal use of props to help you balance. If a prop allows you to balance so that you have to do less work to stay in a pose, you're going to get that deeper of a stretch. Now, if you do go back, and I don't think anyone's going to, but if you do go back, if you feel any pinching in your lower back, stop. Don't do it. You're not ready to go back. I'm fine right now. I'm not feeling any pinching. I normally stop on my elbows and then I work my way down onto my shoulder blades. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just getting myself a little bit more of a stretch on the front here. I also did this pose last night, so um, doing it back to back is fine, but I'm still kind of relatively stretched. Okay, now to come out of this pose, put your weight forward. Again, just come off, get your blood flow back into your knees. Go into a tabletop. So your hands are on the floor, your knees are on the floor, and just sort of point each leg out a couple of times to wake your legs back up. And again, what's going to happen is when you do these poses long enough, you're going to turn off that muscle to the point where to turn it back on, you might act. I often will use my hand to pull my leg back into place. Once the leg is back to neutral and wherever it started, it's fine. But for this next pose, you might want a pillow for your knee, your front knee, and a pillow for your back knee. Or I'm sorry, a pillow just for your back knee. I apologize. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a pillow and I'm going to put it under my left knee. Now I'm going to put it so that I'm going to be able to move my leg further back. Okay, from this position in a tabletop, what I want you to do is I want you to take your right leg and swing it around to your right hand. So the leg is either up and down, or even the foot can even be forward of the hand. You can rotate your right foot out 45, up to 45 degrees, and this leg can fall out or not. Left leg goes straight back. This is just a deep lunge. I'm on my shin and my left knee on the back, and on the front, I've just got a big old stretch. Now, if you need some pillows to support your chest or maybe something like this to hold on to, that is totally fine because the stretch has nothing to do with your chest or your upper torso. The stretch is in a couple places. On my right leg, I'm getting the hamstring. Also on my right leg, I'm getting the outside of the hip or the abductors, the AB abductors. On the left side, I'm getting the hip flexor for certain. So those are the big parts of the stretch. There are other places that might be stretching. We're just going to hold here and allow ourselves to slowly melt into our hips. So we're doing three things. I mentioned the first two. The front leg is getting the hamstring. The back leg is getting the hip flexor. You might also be getting something in the abductors, the outside of your hips. So those are big things that are happening. Another thing that's happening though is if you think about your hip for a second, your right leg is forward, your left leg is back, and you're stretching.
So you're pulling your hips diagonally, say from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And then when we switch legs, we're going to pull the other direction. So we're going to also be pulling our hips in the direction. If you only do one pose, this is probably the one pose to do. I say that because we all sit all day long. Our hips are tight. This is a great, huge pose. And while I say 2 to 5 minutes for most poses, hip poses are the ones where I'll go longer than 5 minutes. This one, you probably don't need to do more than 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you're pretty knackered. But we're just going to do this to get our basic hips nice and warmed up, and then we'll switch to the other one. Any of these poses you can do longer than we're doing. And while we're here, if you need videos for any of these, I've got these. I'll have a video for this class, but each one of these poses already has videos and additional instruction online. So if you need any of them, reach out. Okay, come out of this. Curl your left toes under and push back into your left leg until you can get your right leg about straight. And right there, now that I've done that, my muscle is already returned and I can use it. And then push back onto your heels. Yoga folk, this is child's pose. We're just stretching here. Come forward, push back. Once more. Come back up into a tabletop. If you have a pillow for your knee, switch to the other knee. Hands below your shoulders. Take your left leg, swing it up to your left hand. Take your left foot, rotate it out 45 degrees. Slide your right leg back as you point your toes, and then relax into it. For the first 2 months I did this pose, I used 2 comforters under my chest until I got the arm strength to be able to lock out. But here are a couple of tricks. If you're using your arms, lock your arms out so that you're using the bones as opposed to using your muscles. That's one trick. Another trick, if you take your hand and rotate it inward and then put it down, you now have the external ligaments somewhat engaged. And if you get your ligaments helping you hold up, your ligaments can hold about 1,500 pounds. So a little bit of rotation of the hand gives it a lot more strength. You can also use your fists. If you use your fists, this is exceptionally important. Peace fingers only. Peace fingers only. Pointer finger, social finger. I'm not going to finger. These two fingers have bones that go all the way up the wrist. The rest of the hand does not. So I'm going to take these two knuckles and put them down. Just those two knuckles. My pinky and my ring finger aren't touching the mat at all right now. So again, locked out. Just the first two knuckles. You can twist your hands to hold yourself. Big old stack of cushions, pillows, whatever. Remember your breathing. Inhale in your nose, extend your belly. Exhale. If you want to exhale out your mouth, that's great. If you want to extend it a little bit, if you constrict your throat, it's called ujjayi breathing. As you breathe out, that also stimulates your throat. And guess what? The vagus nerve is also in your throat. So if you stimulate your throat with neck vibrations and you extend your belly, those are two different signals that are telling your body, calm down, rest and digest. There are no tigers present. It's okay to be chill. So you put your body in discomfort and then you breathe consciously to let your body know, yeah, I know this hurts. Deal with it. And that's how you change your body. You change your body by using your conscious brain to do something, in this case, uncomfortable, and then sitting with it. Okay, to come out, curl your toes under, push back until your left leg is straight. And once I get my leg back to fully extended, I can move it. And I really have, on a regular basis, if I have my leg fully extended and I've done some kind of stretch, my leg is not functional until I pull it back into the middle, and then it's functional. Okay, we're going to stay on the floor here. And for this next one, you're going to want some protection for your shins. I'm going to show you this in a couple of ways, so don't go into this pose yet. This is kind of at a high level what it looks like from the side. We're going to be on something like this, and then we're going to sit into our hips. But I want to show you what this looks like from a standing position. Okay, so we're starting something like this, except I'm on my knees. I'm going to take my feet and rotate them out externally. Now, I can't go much further than this or I'm going to fall, but I'm going to actually have them almost completely out when I'm on the ground. Think Charlie Chaplin. We're all old enough to remember Charlie Chaplin. And then I'm sitting in, sitting in, sitting in. And what I'm doing by this, I'm targeting the hip flexors. You can use this to target the groin if you spread your knees wide. Problem is on this one, if you spread your knees wide, you're going to have a weird diagonal force on your knees. So really monitor your knees. You don't want a lot of pressure, weird pressure on your knees. So go less wide and emphasize the hip flexors. So I'm on the ground, starting in a tabletop. I'm going to spread my knees a little bit. And I want to check something here. Yeah, we've got time to do this. Spread my knees a little bit, turn my feet out, and then sit into it. And believe it or not, I'm already in the pose right here. My right hip flexor is feeling this. And the first time that I did this, this is as far back as I was able to get. Think about wet noodle. How can you relax your bum and sit back into it while still feeling all that tension in your hip flexor? Got to move your body around and feel it. If you need to be lower on the ground, totally fine. This works really nicely. If you sit all day, you're going to hate this pose for a while. And when you sit, you compress your hip flexors. If you sit all day, your body adjusts to what you do. And so over time, your hip flexors get shorter. So what happens is then you stand, your hip flexors are tight, so they pull your body forward, and as a result, you tend to compensate by using your lower back. So tight hip flexors tend to cause lower back pain. And in general, if you want a better back bend, work on the flexibility of your front. If you want a better forward fold, work on the flexibility of your back. Okay, now to come out of this, sort of pull yourself forward until you can bring your legs together. So I'm going to come forward a little bit, maybe even a little bit. Actually, I'm going to come a little bit more forward, drop my waist, and then I can bring my legs together. We're going to continue on the ground. You might want some kind of short pillow for your bum. I'm going to go ahead and just use a couple of these. A block would be perfectly good. The pillow is optional, but what the pillow will do is it'll allow you to use gravity to your advantage. All right, so now I want this timer. Yep. We're doing this one for, so feet together. Now the big question is, how far ahead of you do you want them? We want to be able to lean forward. So feet pretty far ahead. I'm going to go from my groin, 1, 2, 3, 4 fists forward, and then I'm going to use just lean forward. This is the pose. This is it right here. So just lean forward over your feet. Now, this might hurt your lower back. Don't look down, look ahead. That will help extend your lower back. If you still have trouble with your lower back, another good trick, and this is a good general trick you can use on any pose, blockhead. No, don't make the blocks fall. If you do something like this, having a little pressure on your forehead will help generally relieve pressure on your lower back. And then slowly over time, you might lower it. This is a great pose to do while sitting on the couch watching TV, but just don't lean forward. Instead, you can do something like this, put light pressure on your legs and you sit and watch TV. You can do this for 10, 20, 30 minutes, but you do want to
every few minutes come out of it because if you do this for 30 minutes, you'll be really sore. But this is something to do while watching TV. It's a great, it's I do it often. Now I want my torso to go a little bit lower, so I'm just going to extend my hands. Notice I'm not pulling, I'm letting gravity do all the work. Now, this pose is also great. I'd say about 4 nights a week, I do this as I go to bed. So I'll lie on my bed, I'm on my back, I put my feet together, the blankets are on my knee, the blanket's on my knee, and I get a light pressure and just hold that and really allow your hips to relax. Set a timer. I've fallen asleep doing it. And if you wake up and you've had your legs like that for a half hour, again, it'll take a while for your legs to get back to normal. They will get to normal. Oh, hello, Penny. If you have a puppy nearby, pet her. Okay, I'm gonna use your body for blockhead. I do. You're in the way though. You're gonna kiss me? You're gonna I know. Go ahead, move on, Penny. Come on, move here. Come on, over here, baby. Penny, move. There you go. Good girl. Thank you. That's a good girl. I'm busy. Yes, I am. Now, again, on this pose, as we're about to come out, my guess is your back is pretty well stretched. So put your hands on your feet and push with your hands. Push with your hands. And then if you feel like you want to reverse that, take your hands, fingers pointing behind you, just lean back and then sort of open your chest to the sky. Lean your head back. That's a nice counter to butterfly. Okay, for the next one, we need a wall. You may need a pillow. I'm going to use two, but probably don't actually need one. But what we're going to do here is we're going to stretch the outside of our hips. Let's see. I'm going to do that 2.5. Great. So I got my back as flat against the wall as I can, feet up 45 degrees, or legs at 45 degrees. Now, depending on how tight you are, you might need to slide your leg way down, and that's fine. But what I want you to do is I want you to take your right foot and put it above your left knee. So I'm going to take my right foot above the left knee. That's the pose right there. I've got something on my feet to support so that I don't get stretched, so my feet aren't sliding. And this is a good enough pose right there. Slowly over time, I'll bring my left foot back. If you want, you can put a little bit of pressure here, but you don't need to. Now, this is a great pose. I do this one all the time. It's just I do it sitting. So if you are sitting in a chair, do this exact same thing, and we call this half pigeon. So when I'm watching TV on the recliner, I'll put my left leg down, put my right leg up, and then just sit there for 5, 10 minutes. I do set timer. I'll set a timer, and then I'll switch to the other foot. And so I'll do this while watching TV. And guess what? You can get all your stretching in while watching TV if you want to. There are some things that you can't do while watching TV. Now, another trick on this one. If you move your leg slowly side to side, very slowly side to side, you're going to feel a stretch in different parts of the body. If you don't put tension on a part of the muscle, you're not going to stretch it. So if you want to get a deeper, fuller muscle stretch, slowly move side to side a little bit and sort of hang out in places that are especially tight.
Okay, now give your leg a good amount of support and slowly lower it down to the ground. Push your leg straight out and then just turn your foot side to side, just a little bit, just sort of wake you up a bit. I don't know about on this particular pose, about, after about 2.5, 3 minutes, it feels like I should have more pain in my outside hip, but actually my leg is just sort of turning off. So the pain sensors seem to turn off. And so just be careful of that. Okay, feet are on the ground, legs are about 45 degrees. My left side's a little bit tighter. I'm going to bring my left foot on top of my right knee. Now, we're doing this pose twice because right side, left side, not all poses are like this. If you have a pose that's like this, you'll typically notice that one side is tighter than the other. It's perfectly good to do the other side longer. Always do both sides, but do one side longer. So 2 to 5 minutes is the recommendation for the time limit. So if you're going to do one side longer, maybe the first side is 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and the second side is 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe a minute longer. If you are doing any kind of asymmetrical sports, pickleball, any kind of racket sport, golf, football, anything where you primarily use one side of your body, that side is going to tend to be tighter. It's going to tend to require longer stretching. However, if you do work on your flexibility, you can continue your asymmetrical sports many more years many more years, much older, much later in life. So, Carmi, since you cut out for a second, I'll just say this is a great thing to do when you're sitting in a seated position. So you just sit down, you're on, let's say, on the recliner, one leg down, one up, and then you can allow your knee to fall off to the side, and slowly over time, you'll get some stretching while watching TV. Okay, now let that leg down and then extend that left leg and twist your leg just a little bit. Maybe twist both of them side to side. Now, we're going to continue on to our back. You may or may not want a pillow for your head. I do not use one for this one. Okay, like before, knees bent. Actually, on this hard surface, I will use a pillow. Well, linoleum floors are not as soft as carpeted floors, it turns out. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to take your right foot, right foot, and hook it either behind your left knee or maybe even over your left knee or further down. Any of those positions is fine, from here to here. Now that you've done that, take your left hand and put it on the outside of your right knee, and then twist your body. I'm looking straight up, so my shoulder is going to come off. That's fine. Twist your body to the left and take your right arm and push it out to the right. Now, this might be too much for you. This might be hyperextension of your elbow. You get used to this eventually, but if you don't like that, just take your hand and put it, say, on your chest, your rib cage. I want your elbow pointing in that direction, but if there's too much pressure, you can bring your hand in or maybe use a pillow. Over time, though, eventually you can do this. This is a good. I'm getting a sort of a free shoulder stretch here, which is good because we're going to be doing some shoulder stretching coming up. But the arm is not part of it, other than I want your elbow pointed because that makes sure that your whole spine is in a twist. Now, what this is hitting is your lower back. I'm getting nice big old stretch right here, somewhat into the the abductors as well, the AB abductors. The abductors allow your legs to go out away from your body. Your AB adductors allow your legs to be added to the middle of your body or bring them in. Now, this is one of those poses where it is especially great when you're twisted to really extend your belly. It stretches everything. I'm not pulling with my left hand. There is some weight there, but I'm not actually pulling. If this is too intense, you can also use pillows or something to control how far you twist. Okay, now to come out of this very carefully, untwist your legs if you need to. Get your right foot on top of your right leg. Slide your foot back until your foot is on the ground. Notice my back is still twisted. If you've really twisted your back, you need to come out of this slowly. Okay, here we go. And I'm coming out. I'm coming out. Now, from here, feet on the ground, just lay here. Feel, close your eyes and feel your lower right back and your lower left back. Do they feel different? My right side feels stretched and loose. My left side still feels tight. Okay, so we're going to remedy that. Take your left foot and either hook it behind your right knee or over or slide it down, whatever is available to you. The stretch is not about how hooked your legs are. I'm going to take my right hand on the outside of my left leg and twist to the side and let my left arm stay to the left. I'm looking up. It's okay that my left shoulder's off the ground, but I'm looking straight up. My left hand is out to the left, and my right hand is resting on the knee, though resting is fine. Again, if this is too much, either because you're hyperextending your elbow or it's just too much on your shoulder, take your hand and put it, say here, on your chest, your rib cage, your chest cage, your rib cage. The dogs heard a bark. Okay, now we're going to be coming out of this one again. Untwist your legs if they're twisted. I want you to take your left foot and slide it until it's touching the ground. Put your left foot on the ground and then twist your back. And for a moment, just sit here and feel left side, right side. Hopefully, it's a little more balanced. And then maybe just sort of wash your legs side to side just a second. Okay, we're going to stay on the ground, but flip onto your stomach. No, I'm busy. I'm busy. Hello, Ripley. I love you. And Penny, you're staying inside. Okay, what I want you to do is on your stomach, take your right arm and put it in front of your left arm. Now we're going to take our arms and Penny, move. Come on, move, 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 move. Thank you. And then your elbows are going to cross, and then take your chin and put it on your front arm. You might need a pillow under your chest, but hopefully you're feeling your shoulder blades get pulled apart. This is an awkward pose to get into. It's an awkward pose to learn how to breathe with pressure on the bottom of your chin like this. Once you've gotten through those things, it's very easy to fall asleep in this pose. I've done it many times. I've woken myself up snoring. So set an alarm on this pose. In general, 2 to 5 minutes. You're never going to want to stay in the pose long enough to do stuff until you're used to it. So use a timer, stay in 2 to 5 minutes, meet or beat your previous hold times. 15, 20 minutes, 5 days a week is more than enough to make huge strides in your flexibility. That's my personal experience. Now I was doing it maybe more like 20, 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week, just because I was so enthused by the results, but you will get great results 15, 20 to 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. The problem is you have to spend the time. Poses won't do themselves. And if you just do the pose but don't spend the time in it, you're not doing the pose. So this stuff is not too hard to do physically compared to mentally. Okay, switch. So push with your belly to get your arms up. Take your left arm, put it in front of your right arm, and then slide your right hand to the left, your left hand to the right, chin down, and part two. Pardon me. All right, now push up. This is where we're going to do our final pose against the wall. And this is a big one. This is my favorite official pose in the whole sequence, or all the poses of the sequence. So I'm going to lay against on the ground, chest on the ground. My head is just going to be touching the baseboard of the wall. All right, so that's the starting position. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Head against the wall, laying down. Now, reach up, hands a little bit wider than shoulder, or even more so, and then fall into your shoulders. And this is it. This is a huge pose. If you have tension in your shoulders, and most of us do, this pose might kick you in the butt mentally. So for me, this starts as mostly stretching my shoulders, my rotator cuff, my armpits, but eventually my trapezius muscles start to loosen up. And then it's like my whole chest opens up. This is a big chest opener. If you sit on a phone all day, you hunch over it all. This is a great counter to that. And it will allow you to continue hunching over if you counter it by doing this pose on a regular basis. If you can drop your head, that's great. Not necessary. When I started doing this pose, I was not able to allow my head to drop. Now I can. So I don't directly work on my neck in any of these stretches, but the neck gets benefits. So we're not working on the neck, but the neck does get benefits from various stretches that we do. You can use your belly. If you inhale into your belly, it lifts your body up. And then as you relax into it, you can slowly ebb in and out of the edge of the pose. So you can sort of extend the edge of your body's stretch by inhaling and then exhaling deeper. So it adds a little bit of just a little bit of dynamism to this flow, this pose. Creases of my elbows are generally pointing up. So you're not doing any kind of weird stuff to your elbows on this one. And I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using my toes. I'm curling my toes under and pushing forward to accentuate the stretch. You don't need to do that. Okay, to come out, push with your belly, bring your arms down, put your hands below you, and then just take your forehead, and put it on your hands for a second. Ah, do a quick scan of your body. Notice anything different from what you're used to. Now to come out of this pose, before we actually get on up on the ground, we're going to go to standing. But first, take your elbows and put them under your shoulders. And there's a push down in your elbows, and I'm going to cause a bit of an arch in my back between my shoulder blades. That's a bit of a turtle back. That's a nice counter to what we just did. Pardon me. All right, now slowly push yourself up into a tabletop and then get yourself to standing. We're going to wrap up the class. We've done the stretch portion, and now let's get ourselves back into waking up. All right. So we're going to quickly wrap up here since we've only got a few minutes left. And let's do this by just doing a shake to finish out the class. So feet together, and then just very gently bounce. And take a feel of your body. Anything opening, anything particularly painful. So this is going to generally loosen your body and wake it up, but also you might find yourself somewhat tired. This is going to help you sort of balance out a bit. Okay, let's take in a big inhale and reach up. And then pull it down. Exhale. Let's go up one more time. Inhale up. And then bring it down to your waist. Now let's do two down. Oh, reach out, exhale, inhale, inhale down. Exhale up. One more time. Inhale down. Push and exhale. And that's it. We'll call it a class. We're done. Congratulations, you're all stretched. How do you feel? Anybody? Andy, good? Carmi?
I'm okay.
Did you notice anything different from this time?
Um,
Surprisingly, I was able to do all of them except that last one with the shoulders. I
The
couldn't
last
do
one
that
with
one
the
at all.
that last one with the shoulders. Okay, actually, I'm going to show you an alternative to that'll help that you can work up to.
Okay.
That okay, of all the poses, that one pose is the one pose I did the first time I did it. Psychologically, I had to get out of after 3 minutes. My brain was like something, you know. So that's a really tough pose. It is, however, once you get it, I love that. I love that. That's my favorite pose.
Well, I think it'd
I
be great for my neck, but I have a bicep thing right now that really, really, really tweaked when I did that.
Okay, so this you might try this. So I got two blocks. I'm going to put these blocks on either side of my ears. Elbow, elbow like this. Now this doesn't do much, but notice hands together and take your thumbs back to between your shoulder blades. There you go.
Okay.
Now
Okay,
this
I'll
is a
try
great
that.
place. Now I will eventually do this. The one thing I'll caution you on, Carmi, you could easily tweak your ulnar nerve. So be careful because you know this. But this actually is a really good stretch right here if you can get if you can get the balance on it.
Okay.
And another
Maybe I'll
alternative
just
is
start trying that when I'm laying on the ground flat.
that would be good. So another thing you
My
could do
arm over
is
my head.
that's good. Or you could do this on your knees.
Oh yeah,
Or
that'd probably be okay.
or put your arms in a doorway and go through the doorway.
Oh yeah. Okay, that
Yeah,
I
the
can do.
doorway. Yeah. So
Yeah,
those
we
are
got a great
options.
doorway down here for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. I'm glad you all. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I got a good stretch.
Yeah, it
Questions or
was great.
comments before we call it?
I'm good.
All right. Afternoon, y'all. I'm gonna pack
Yeah,
up and head
bye.
out. Have a great day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.
thanks.